grind. West Coast of the game, sports talk kings. Yeah, we wear that crown. Turn it up, let them know it's about to go down. Sports reports, no gimmicks, no clowns. True 5, Mr. Logical, we run this town. Real talk only, no chaser, no doubt. From the east to the west, it's the order we shout.
It's about to go down.
Yes, you are now listening to the sounds of Sports Reports Disordered. And we doing something a little different tonight. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Logical's not available at the moment. It's Wednesday night, coming at you on Friday, but I got the gang with me. It's a Say Less, Say More takeover. Yeah. I got the one and only El Residente, you know, one of the most influential humans I ever met in my life. And then, of course, you know what I'm saying, we got my guy. I think he's going by the name of Radical Jack. I'm never too sure, but, you know, apparently it's about fly, Eagles fly. I prefer cry, Eagles cry, but, you know.
Go, Pat, go.
That's crazy. Anyway, you already know what it is, man. It's your boy Jackie Rains, a.k.a. Radical Jack, a.k.a. Ringo Mandingo, a.k.a. Do the Damn Thing, Big Oos. What's happening, y'all? DJ Radical.
You know what I'm saying? And now, you know what I'm saying, we got picks for y'all because, you know, we got some Thanksgiving football, some Black Friday football, and then football all throughout the weekend.
Yeah.
And we got some other topics to get to, so we're going to get right to it. But before we do, like, review, subscribe, share, rate, do all the free things, do all the good things. Stick with death in hand, even though I got the hot toddy tonight because I ain't feeling good. But let's get it. So, fellas, as we get closer to the playoffs, you know, this is week 13, if my math is correct.
Mm-hmm.
You know, are there any teams in the NFL that you either, A, believe in, like, hey, this team is going to make a run in the playoffs, or it could be a division leader or something along those lines that you think they're dead in the water before they get started?
Teams I believe in. I mean, the Eagles have been up and down in terms of I think they're playing to their competition for the most part. So I definitely believe in the Eagles. I've been on record as saying I think that the Eagles are going to go, they're going to repeat this year. I still think it. I don't have a reason to believe anything different. So I think the Eagles I believe in. There's another team I believe in, though I think my Niners are going to beat them in the playoffs. It's the Rams. I think the Rams are, you know, a solid team. Their defense is definitely, like, if you look at the current model of winning, it literally is like defense win championships, and the Rams have a really, really good defense. It's just that I believe that my Niners defense is better. Those are my two.
Okay. What you think, Jack?
Well, I think I have to believe in the Eagles as a fan. I will say that the offense is scary. I can't say it's stagnant. It's not a stagnant offense, but it's just we need to tighten up. I think that's the best way I can put it. We just need to tighten up. You know what I'm saying? I like what Red said. I like how he said we're playing to our opponents. That might be a thing too, because the Green Bay game was crazy close. And then you know, we did drop 30 when AJ wasn't there. So I mean, the tools are there. I just, you know, I still believe in us. I definitely got us going back to the Super Bowl as well.
Mm-hmm.
The other team that I'm looking at is definitely the Rams. I think the Rams are like that. I believe in the Rams for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy. Matthew Stafford, 30 touchdowns and 2 interceptions on the season. He hasn't thrown an interception since when, Rez? Since when?
Since he played the Niners.
Since he played the Niners on that Thursday night game a very long time ago. So, yeah, I'll go ahead and agree with the Rams. The Eagles, maybe. You know, I think the Eagles are going through this Kobe Shaq thing of, hey, we're going to turn it on when we need to turn it on, Kobe. You know, I just don't know how that works in the NFL. Like, it's one thing in the NBA when there's a set amount of players on the court, like 5 of them, and you could have these 2 or 3 impact players. But in the NFL, you could be schemed out of certain things. You know, like Saquon right now, you know, he went 10 rushes for 22 yards against Dallas. That's not going to get it done. But I don't want to stay there. Let's bring up some different teams. So I'm going to tell y'all a team I don't believe in.
Okay. Wait. Before you do, though, I think all of us mentioned NFC teams. Do we believe in
I got an
AFC teams?
Yeah, I got you. So I'm going to tell you a team that I don't believe in first. I don't believe in those donkeys out there in Colorado, the Broncos.
Mm.
I don't believe in them. Like Bo Nix is not efficient enough. He's not consistent enough. And they don't
Wow.
have the run game to supplement him when he's not playing well. They have the defense for sure,
For
100%.
sure.
And
For
they have
sure.
the head coach. So, you got to give them credit for the head coach. But I just think that they've been living on the edge a little bit too much. And the good news is they're winning these games without Surtain being there.
Hmm.
So that goes a long way if you can win without your best. I mean, the reigning defensive player of the year. But as far as
True.
another team that I don't believe in, keeping it in the AFC, I don't believe in bleed blue for the shoe.
Damn
Whoa.
Nation.
Wait.
Okay.
Hold on. Wait.
Wow.
Whoa. Hold on, sir. Because some of us, there are
We're there
just a
from day
few of
one.
us who believe from day one that this Daniel Jones thing could work and that you didn't need Anthony Richardson out here not throwing, being able to throw a 5-yard pass. Daniel Jones has done an amazing job of coming in and performing at a high level at QB and sort of banking, sort of playing off the run and making those 3 to 4 plays that you really need for a quarterback to make a team decent. I definitely think that the Colts are really good. I just think that at some point Daniel Jones shows up as Daniel Jones in the playoffs. But do I trust them as what they are in the regular season? I absolutely do. So I would just disagree with you there.
No, I don't
I think.
because. Oh, go
Oh,
ahead,
go
Jack. Go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead.
Well,
Go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say I don't really like you disrespecting the Broncos like that. You know what I'm saying? I think Bo is doing what he's supposed to do. I look at it a totally different way, man. Bo might have like the worst game on planet Earth, but in the fourth quarter, when it matters most, he's been turning it up. So I think Denver is gonna be great.
Mm.
No, that's fine if you ain't down, 21-10 going into that fourth quarter. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and that's a
Like
dangerous game to play in the playoffs.
you know what I mean? And but the reason I
That's
don't believe
true.
in the Colts is more so the head coach Shane Steichen because I hate being right sometimes because I like to see people prosper and the Colts are doing the damn thing. You can't hate on them, but Shane Steichen gets in these tight games and then he gets too cute. He forgets that he has Jonathan Taylor over there. And
Mm.
so you look at the game against Kansas City the other day, for example. Jonathan Taylor, 16 rushes, 58 yards. And I know you heard me say 16 rushes, but it matters when those rushes happen. When
Right.
Kansas City was making that comeback, he went into, oh, we're going to let Daniel Jones bring us home. And nobody should live like that.
Yeah, no, the Colts did everything they could to lose that game. They did everything they could to lose. Like I remember watching the game and be like, dog, like why aren't they giving the ball to Jonathan Taylor? If they get 1 or 2 first downs, that game is over in regulation, and
Mhm.
like they're able to win that game pretty easily. I don't understand why they took the approach that they did. I understand feeling like you want to knock out the big dog, which is the Chiefs, and regardless of what the Chiefs' record is, they're still the big dog on campus anywhere that they show up. But it's just weird to me that that they played that the way that they did. It made no sense.
Well, and not only that, but also like it's just one of those things where we saw this in the Rams game too. You know what I'm saying? Where that first loss of the season that the Colts had. A lot of
Hmm.
people look at AD Mitchell for dropping the ball in the end zone, the hold, and the game never comes to that if you just
Right.
give Jonathan Taylor the ball. So that's the
Right.
thing. But I don't want to be negative. I don't want to be all negative.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna tell you a team that I do believe in. I
Okay.
believe, and I know y'all gonna say I'm biased, but I'm just gonna do it.
The
I
Doors.
no the Packers because I think
Oh, for
that
sure.
the
Oh
defense
yeah,
is
Jack loves
holding
that
it
idea.
down. The defense is holding it down just enough, for Jaden Reed to get healthy and come back. And obviously Josh Jacobs got some injury issues right now, but I think it's just more or less, from the standpoint of I trust that defense, and I trust LaFleur.
So when we say trust, what are we trusting them to do exactly?
Well, just meaning like, that this is a team that could be dangerous going forward, or they're not going to be one and done. They're not going to finish, 12-5 and then lose their first playoff game.
I have no reason to believe that the Packers won't do that.
All right, tell me more.
Have we seen Jordan Love be excellent in the playoffs?
There was the game against Dallas a couple years ago.
which is Dallas. So we know what Dallas does in the
All I
playoffs.
did was answer
I
your
would no
question.
no no. Remember he had so was it the Lions that they beat
They beat no they, the Pack win.
last year? Whatever year the Lions were supposed to be like the juggernaut. Didn't the Packers beat them in the playoffs?
No, the
No, those
Niners
are
beat the
40, yeah, those are
Niners
the
beat
Niners.
the
Yeah.
Packers when they're supposed to be the
Okay,
juggernauts in the
my
playoffs.
bad, my bad.
Yeah.
Hey, my
What,
bad, my
what
bad.
the Packers also had something like a I don't remember the exact score, but I want to say it was like 17-6 lead over San Francisco, and then Brock Purdy put the cape on. That happens.
I mean, and it's true.
So
I
so
just
you
I just don't
think
have I just don't have faith right now. Like I think Jordan Love's a very good quarterback. I think Jordan Love has the ability to do it. I just don't trust right now that he can do it.
I think that
Yeah.
he's gotta just he's gotta make a small adjustment and be a little bit of a better decision maker. But I think that he definitely got he's got it in him.
Yeah.
Pause.
So how do you guys feel about New England? They got the best record in the league right now. Like are you guys in on New England, or are you
Yeah.
feeling like this might be a little fool's gold?
No, I believe in New England. I think that, so. Look, this is the thing. 2 years ago, 2 years ago, I thought New England was good when they played us the first game of the season, and it was like a really close game.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like I thought New England was good. I was just like, man, they need offense. And I didn't know that one quarterback would change everything. I mean, they did get Stephon Diggs too. I'm not gonna minimize that. They did get Stephon Diggs, but I thought the Patriots were good. I just thought that they needed an offense, and I didn't think the offense was gonna come together that fast. I don't think they're fool's gold. I think they're a legit team.
Okay. What about you, Riz?
Who's this? I'm sorry.
The Patriots.
I like the Patriots. I like the Patriots a lot. I like what I've seen from Coach Vrabel. I like what I've seen from Drake May. I like what I've seen from the supporting members. I love what I've seen from the defense. It's just there's nothing in me that believes that they're going to win a championship this year. But I do think that. Do I think that what we're seeing right now is real? Absolutely. I think it's absolutely real. I think it's absolutely sustainable. And I think that next year the Patriots are going to be very serious. I think this year here is them recognizing what they can be.
I think it's hilarious that we're having this conversation right now as they go into a matchup with the Giants, of all teams. It just seems kind of ironic to be talking about that right now. But, Sam, but moving on, let's get to it. So, week 12, we got Turkey Day coming up, Sam. So, starting it off, Packers, Lions, Ford
Uh
Field.
oh.
What do you
Uh oh.
got? What do you got?
Jack,
Come on, Doug.
go pack,
Come
go,
on,
right?
go, Pack, go, go,
Yeah,
Pack,
yeah,
go.
yeah,
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 Big
yeah,
Jordan Love.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Big,
saying? Big Jordan Love. Big
big
Jordan
Christian
Love.
Watson. Big Christian Watson.
Nah, I ain't gonna say that. I don't even like to say his name because, like, if you do, he might get hurt. So you just gotta just let him exist.
That's crazy.
Let him
Nah,
exist.
Packers Lions. Who's hosting?
It's at Fort
Lions.
the Lions. It's at Fort Field,
It's
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. It's
Yeah.
Then
Thanksgiving.
I'm taking the Lions.
All right. So Jameer Gibbs goes wild.
Jameer Gibbs goes
Hey,
wild enough because can we just sort of talk about the
pause.
fantasy
Yeah,
Hall of Fame day that he had last week?
I was just about to
Like
say,
I
let's
mean,
talk
I'd
about
rather not.
Jameer.
200 and what? 219 yards rushing,
Yeah, it was something like that.
like three touchdowns.
That
Like
boy was going crazy.
that's a fantasy Hall of Fame day. They hang your name in
And
the
he's
rafters
on
and
my
stuff like that.
team. He's on one of my teams. So I
He's-
was I was a dog. I was loving every second of it, dog.
yeah, nah. So I think Jameer is still like Jameer. I Are they still splitting time between Jameer and David Montgomery?
Yeah,
No,
but
I
they
mean they
didn't they
are,
didn't
but
split too
Jameer is
much.
basically Jameer
Okay,
is
because I
yeah.
never understood that. Like Jameer would bring it all the way down. They're like, okay, David Montgomery time. Like, dog, give Jameer the ball. Let that dude cook.
No,
But no, I
Sonic
think at
and
home, I
Los.
think the Lions got it. I
And
think at
just so
home the
y'all
Lions
know,
got it.
and just so y'all know, on Sports Reports' order, his name is the real Reggie Bush.
Oh, sorry, you right, you right. The
Oh,
real
okay, my
Reggie
bad.
Bush.
Yeah,
My
he's
And
what
bad.
hold on,
Reggie
wait.
Bush is supposed to be.
Word. Let
I
me see
agree. That
Lions
makes sense.
roster.
That makes a lot of
Let me
sense.
see. Jameer Gibbs. You know what I mean? You know, Jameer Gibbs is Hold on, dang, I'm trying to get my lethal on. My logical. Oh, sorry. Jameer Gibbs, 5'9", 202 pounds. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Definitely straight out of Alabama, played at Alabama. It's a guy like him. You give him the ball, you clear out, you let him run. You might have a few, linemen. One 6'5", 310 pounds. Another one, 6'4", 315 pounds.
Okay.
You just put him behind those guys in a wing T formation and let them go crazy. Shout out to my guy Logical.
Well, so there's a couple of things here. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, we have the week one matchup to draw off of. I don't want to draw too much into it because it was one game, but Green Bay held Detroit to 46 yards rushing in that game,
Right.
forced 3 turnovers. And I'm not saying that it's going to happen again because turnovers are like one of those variance things that from
Hmm.
week to week, you just don't know what you're going to get. So I don't want to rely on that. But what I will rely on is
Tell
Detroit
us.
this season against
Okay.
Philly, against
Okay.
Kansas City, and against that Green Bay team that we're talking about. They're averaging 13 points a game. So
Mm,
basically, what I'm getting at is Jared Goff. I need you to show up because you're looking like the Jared Goff that McVay got rid of.
I
mm.
You know what I'm
mean,
saying?
I mean, when
And
you're
the
going
Lions need
against
to get it together.
juggernauts,
Well, but the Lions also need to get it together. Like, what's their identity? One week you got Dan Campbell calling plays. You're going forward on all these fourth downs, and you can't live like that with these teams of this caliber. So
Yeah.
I'm going with the Packers. I don't think it's going to look like week one as far as they're just going to dominate, but I can see something along the lines of 27-21.
Yeah, the line has the Lions by 3.
Yep.
I like that number. I like that number, and I would take the over.
Okay. I like the
okay.
over. I like the over. All right. So keeping it going, we got to come down here to the great Lone Star State where those filthy Dallas Cowboys got the Kansas City Chiefs coming in. Patrick Mahomes on Thanksgiving signed me up. Who
Yeah,
wins?
yeah. Patty Mac.
Does Patrick Mahomes have like a good Thanksgiving record?
I think this is his first time.
Oh,
Or he may have played like one of those late games, but I don't think he's played against Dallas or Detroit.
okay. So what I'll say this: Patrick Mahomes is going to have the best game of his season, of this season. He's going to have the best game that he's performed this season because, dun dun dun, dun George Pickens decided to post his wife on social media. Patrick Mahomes is about to show everybody who he is. Him and
How do you
Xavier
feel
Worthy.
about how did you feel about that post? What did you think? You like aesthetically, Jack?
Uh, I don't really like to talk about other people's wives, but dogfish.
Uh,
But yeah, man. You know,
Word. Okay. I think Kansas City is about to go on a run. Um, I think that right now I'm looking at the fact that they're 6-5 right now, third in their division. And after this game here, they have the Cowboys, Texans, Chargers, Titans. So I think they're gonna win this game. They're playing. I want to say they're at the Cowboys, so they're in Jerry's World. They got to go to Houston to play the Texans. They're gonna win that game, and then that sets them up to be 9-5.
Okay.
going to the playoffs.
Going against the Chargers, and that being a really important game for playoff positioning. They're sitting outside the playoffs right now. I think Patty Mahomes knows what time it is. They're a veteran team full of that defense is still that defense, and the skill players are still figuring it out with Patrick Mahomes. I think they're about to go on a run, so I think it starts in Dallas tonight, tomorrow.
So I think that y'all said a key word in both of those breakdowns, right? Playoff.
Dogfish.
It's a playoff game, and I got to choose between Dak Prescott and Patrick Mahomes because I mean this is a playoff game. The loser of this game is in dire straits.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Dallas got out of the Philly game the other day where their season probably would have been close to over if they would have lost that game.
I feel like
Kansas
Philly.
City.
I feel like the Colts could have did the same thing to Patty and them,
That's what
but
I
they
was
didn't
about to
capitalize.
say. But
Yeah.
but 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 like I was telling Mr. Logical the other day, I think the difference in that particular game was we saw a team that had been there before versus a team that had not. The
Hmm.
Colts haven't had to play in that type of pressure type game. The Chiefs live in those games. So
Yeah.
so so when we look at this game, I just don't think that Dallas has the secondary to keep up with those receivers. Quentin Williams has been a great pickup on the defensive line, so they'll get a little bit more pressure on Mahomes than they probably would have a couple of weeks ago. But I just think the Chiefs are in playoff mode now, and that's big trouble for Dallas.
That works.
All
That makes
right,
sense to me. And the
then,
numbers are 3.5. By the way, Kansas City with 3.5.
yeah, give me that. Give
All
me
I'll
right.
that.
take
Yeah,
that.
I think I'm
I'll
taking it
definitely
too.
take
I think I'm
that.
taking it too.
Yeah, then on Thursday night, Thanksgiving night, El Residente's favorite quarterback is back in the saddles.
Yeah, he is.
Joe Burrow is
Oh
back,
God.
going into my hometown of
Oh, damn!
Baltimore,
Whoa!
Maryland. Going into my hometown of Baltimore, Maryland to play the Ravens, who are now in first place somehow. I think if I remember correctly, Residente, the spread is 7.
7.
So are we taking the Ravens to cover that?
No,
I'm about to say hell no. Hell
I'm not. I'm
no.
not taking the Ravens to cover it. I do think the Ravens win, but I think it's a close game, and I think the Bengals get within 7. Um, yeah,
So what do we
Can I
expect
can I
from
ask you
Joe
a question?
Burrow, though?
What is the Baltimore Ravens identity right now? Does anybody know?
Lamar Jackson.
Their identity is we're beating on weak teams.
Their identity is we have Lamar Jackson and you don't.
That
Because I
and
don't
it's
know if
like
well, let me repeat this because I don't know if y'all were here for my dad joke.
I wasn't.
So I'm gonna repeat my dad joke. The Baltimore Ravens have said bye to their offense being in sync.
I see there. I see what you did there.
a key, a key, a key.
I was gonna make a Joey Fatone joke, but I
Yeah.
couldn't figure it out.
So their identity is, hey, Derrick Henry, can you get us as close to the end zone as you can, and we'll at least get a field goal out of it.
Okay, because what I was gonna say was the Baltimore Ravens don't have an identity right now outside of their quarterback and their running back doing decent. I don't think that I don't know, bro. It's weird because the Bengals have this trash defense, and it's like they'll win the games that we just expect them not to. You know what I mean? And then it's like it's Joe Burrow's return. So then on top of that, you got to look at it and be like, if Joe's coming back, he's probably going to come back with a fire under him, or or
Joe Burrow.
Baltimore blows them out, and we go back to the Cincinnati needs a good line.
Yeah. Well, I think that Cincinnati keeps it close. 3 out of the last 4 times that these teams have hooked up, it's been a one-score game. Last year, Baltimore won both games by a combined 5 points. So, so I think that they match up pretty well. The problem is for Cincinnati is that T. Higgins is out with this concussion, but I don't know if Baltimore can put up enough points for me to just definitively say they're going to smack Cincinnati around. So Cincinnati's given up over 30 points per game this season. So Baltimore should be able to score some. I'm going to take the Ravens. I'm going to take it inside the number, and I'm
Pause.
going to call it something like 31-27.
Mm, mm,
Okay.
mm. I like
31-27.
it.
That's not bad. That's
Yeah,
not
I
bad.
think
I got
within
it.
7. I think seven's a wild number.
Yeah, it is.
I
I
think it's
mean,
a
I
lower
mean,
scoring game than that.
well, the only thing we have to go off of, I guess, as far as it being too high of a number, is just that Joe Burrow's missed so much time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's going to take a minute to get acclimated back into the offense and back onto the field. So that might take a quarter or two, and you might find yourself down
Yeah, I'm about to
14
say I
nothing if
think
things
Jamar Chase
go.
missed his boy though, so
Yeah.
it might not be what we think. They might
And
go in and light it up.
and Jamar Chase, do me a favor, keep your saliva in your mouth.
Yeah, bro, don't spit on people, bro. That's disrespectful. It's wild disrespectful. And
Yeah.
can we just like, I mean, as
Should have got
I know
swung on.
this is my pod. Hey, yo, I just realized something. But I know this ain't my pod, but like, can we just like make a stance on like spitting on people is wrong? Like we were taught as very young children that you should not spit on people. So
Correct.
You should.
don't
It's
don't
assault.
spit on
It's
people.
literally assault.
Keep your bodily
Like
fluids to yourself unless you were asked
Yeah,
for.
yeah,
And I put it like that. Then on Friday, Black Friday, as they call it, we got the Philadelphia Eagles hosting the Chicago Bears, the defending Super Bowl champions. Bears have won 8 out of 9, and you would
Bear
never know it
down.
that they're in first place. You would never know that, but the Bears are in first place. Do the Bears have any chance of winning this game? Because when I look at it, I say after that game Philly's coming off of, I wouldn't want to be the Bears.
Mm.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me go ahead and take the reins on this one. Sorry, Rez.
You
Um,
got it. This your team.
Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is going to be running for his life.
Mm.
It's going to be disgusting. Jalen Carter, you know what I'm saying, and the rest of that great line that we got. Them boys is in trouble, dog. It's about to be real nasty.
Mm. How nasty.
I say 35-17.
Oh, that is nasty.
Oh, that was didn't go the direction I planned on it going. But
You know,
okay, cool.
well, that was kind of what I was telling Mr. Logical when we talked about it last night. Is that
Family show.
I imagine Caleb Williams is going to look like a windshield wiper. You know, he's just going to be going from side to side, just like that. And you know, he's going to not have time. The Bears are going to have to run the game and create balance, and I just don't know if they can. You know, now Philly, on the other hand, should be able to run the ball because the Bears have the third worst rush defense in the league. It's just going
Hey,
to be a
hey.
matter of which Jalen Hurts wants to show up.
Well, it's not even that, Red. I mean, Red. I'm sorry. It's not even that 2-5. Think about this, right? The Cowboys allow 131 yards rushing every game. Saquon didn't do nothing like that. I don't think it's a problem. I think I hate to say this, but I think we need to let Saquon run a little bit, but we need to really incorporate Tank Bisbee. Tank is going crazy when we put him in the game,
Will
and we're
Shipley,
not. I mean, yeah, Will Shipley too, but Tank is going crazy.
Clemson's
Like
own.
we need to let Tank in and let Tank go crazy because Tank is getting runs, and then we take him out and we try to get the ball to Saquon, and it's like, unfortunately, it looks like the Madden curse is still there.
Well, I think
Can
Jalen
I?
Hurts made an executive decision that Saquon will not prosper under my watch.
That's hysterical. Question. So I have a few questions because I haven't watched this guy play, and I want to give you an opportunity to tell me if maybe some of the things have changed. Has Caleb Williams figured out how to just take what the defense is giving him offensively?
Yes,
Sometimes.
Has
not all the
Caleb Williams
time,
figured
yeah,
out?
but
Has Caleb Williams figured out how to get the ball out of his hands?
mhm.
Sometimes.
Okay.
He's like a way better player than he was. I'll give him that.
Yeah,
Has
he's
I'm
Caleb
not gonna.
Williams figured out? Has Caleb Williams figured out that he has really good wide receivers on his team?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But I think a lot of their success has been through trick plays and gimmicks still as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, I think in this game I still go Eagles. I think I picked the Eagles coming into the season. I know the Bears have been on a really good run recently, but I just don't trust the Bears as much as I trust the Eagles. So I'm going with the Eagles, and I'll take them with the number.
All right. Well, let's get to Sunday. In the AFC South, we got a big matchup. Davis Mills has come out here and won 3 games in a row. CJ Stroud is still in concussion protocol, so we're still waiting to see if he's going to play or not this weekend. Houston, Indianapolis, top defense in the league against one of the top offenses in the league. Who wins?
The number is
Mm.
Indy by 4.5. I know CJ Stroud is going to play. I saw that they just said he's a full participant in practice.
Okay.
I'm going with the fighting Danny Joneses. I just I mean, one, they're at home. I trust the fact that they know who they are as a team and are leaning on it. They're gonna give the ball to Jonathan Taylor, let him cook, and then make a few plays down the field. Daniel Jones that won't ruin the game if he plays good ball controlled offense. And can we just give a shout out to JBP's own Zaire Franklin for like just the way he. I watched that game last week. Anytime the ball was snapped, he was somewhere near it every single time. So that dude is balling out of his mind, and he got the defense humming. So I definitely, I'm taking the Colts at 4.5. I think they win that easily. I think the Colts win this game big.
All right, what you got, Jack?
I feel the same way. I think the Colts have to come
Spitting is
back.
wrong, Jack.
I'm in my house.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Don't spit on your house, Jack.
Well, I'm in the garage. The driveway's right there. Y'all just can't see it. But no, I think that I think that I think it's the same as the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? They had a disappointing last week. It's a close game. It's something that pisses you off. And I think as a team, it's just like, they watch all this stuff. They watch all the people talk about them. So
They
it's the
watch
same
sports reports
thing.
with orders.
They know like, okay, everybody's looking at us like, they're still doubting us. Are we a real team? So I think they come out and smash heads.
Yeah, I'm still doubting them. You know, I got Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson going wild on Daniel Jones. What you going to do when the Houston Texans run wild on you? And and when I look at this, I am a little concerned, and I know this might sound counterintuitive, but I'm a little concerned that CJ Stroud is playing
Oh
because
wow.
because
Oh wow.
he has to get back into rhythm. You know what I mean? Like Davis Mills has it going. And the Texans aren't necessarily known for running the football very well. So, but I just think that the Colts, we're falling apart. You know what I mean? I think we're falling apart. You know what I'm saying? The Colts are just gonna what's the word? Implode on themselves. And I think this is the beginning. And oh, by the way, they go down to Jacksonville next week where they haven't won since 2014. So they better win this one.
Nah, they'll definitely win
Well,
in Jacksonville. They'll win in Jacksonville.
no, they will not win in Jacksonville. Shout out to Duval. Shout out to Clowntown.
Wow.
Just saying. All right. So then we got the Buffalo Bills because nobody circles the wagons like them. Going over
Nobody.
to Accenture Field to play the Pittsburgh Steelers. I haven't got any word yet whether Aaron Rodgers is coming back or not, but there's a part of me that feels like it doesn't really matter.
Mm.
Doesn't matter
Um,
in the case that you think the Bills are going to win regardless.
Yes.
I got the Bills. I mean, the Bills have lost some games that they had no business losing in the last few
Hmm.
weeks. But I definitely think they beat the Steelers. If especially if Mason Rudolph is the quarterback.
If Mason Rudolph is the quarterback, it's definitely Bills. Unfortunately for the Bills, it feels like the Bills are kind of like the Ravens right now. It's just Josh Allen and the running back. You know what
And
I
the
mean?
Pips. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to
Yeah.
say that. The Pips. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy, bro. Like I don't know
Well,
what's going on with some of these teams that we thought were gonna be juggernauts. Like they're not doing what they're supposed to.
now,
They're
Keon
not
Coleman
juggling.
Keon Coleman hasn't been playing ever since he missed that meeting or whatever happened. And then Dalton Kincaid has been hurt. He's the one dude on Buffalo's offense that can actually separate. They just signed Brandon Cooks yesterday. So,
Oh,
so we'll see how that goes.
well,
Yep.
But
Brandon Cook. One thing I can say, he makes plays. He
he
makes
does.
plays.
He does. But the other Cook makes plays, and that's James Cook. So I
Thank you.
think what's going to happen is James Cook is going to run the ball down the Steelers' throat. The Steelers are going to have to come out of that too high, get into the one high. I said what I said. Get
You
into the one,
did.
get into the one high, and I think Buffalo is going to just hit them across the middle, crossing routes, digs, and I think they're just going to like the Steelers always have TJ Watt, so that's something that you have to consider and give them a fighting chance if he can make plays. But I think Buffalo's going to be able to get Jalen Ramsey removed once they start running the ball, and I think that's what's going to hurt Pittsburgh. So,
No, I just trusted
Jalen.
Josh Allen. Josh Allen's gonna be MVP Josh Allen. These are the games that, players like Josh Allen really get up for.
yeah,
Um and I mean I trust Mike Tomlin to defensively put together a game plan that will be designed to contain Josh Allen. But I think Josh Allen will be just good enough. Looking at the number, it is shoot, I had it pulled up. The number in this game is
and for
three
those
and
of
a
you,
half. Three and a
and,
half.
and for those of you that care about these things, Josh Allen is 4-1 against the Steelers in his career.
Thank
So,
you.
Mm.
take
Yeah,
that with a grain of salt, though. You know what I mean? Rams and Panthers. You know what I'm saying? Here we go. The Rams making that cross country trip coming off of the domination of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, It is what it is.
Rams. Rams easy.
Rams,
He
Jack.
said Rams easy. Now you know I'm picking the Rams.
All right,
I don't see them losing.
all right. On
Also,
that, yeah. On that note, y'all, the Radical One must depart us. Saying thank you for your time, sir. Hope to have you back in the future. See you on
yes
Say
sir.
Less, Say More.
Yes,
Always,
sir.
always, man. You guys be
Yes,
safe
sir.
tonight, man. I'll at y'all,
One love.
man.
Be good, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right. So now, as I was saying, yeah, the Rams, I believe I saw the number at 10 or 10 and a half. And I do think the Panthers can keep it inside that number just because of the travel and just because of, the Panthers are spunky, if nothing else. They are feisty. They will fight you. I just don't think they have the dogs to keep up with the Rams.
Well, we played the Rams last on Sunday night, and like sorry, Monday night, and like I was really impressed with what I saw from their defense. Sorry, not the Rams, the
The
Panthers.
Panthers, yeah.
Yeah, like I was really impressed what I saw from their defense. They got really creative in the secondaries, sort of showing some different looks that sort of really confused Brock Purdy in a lot of places. And those corners are really down to go get it. J.C. Horn came out of the game with a concussion, so I don't know if he's going to be out for this next game, but they're gonna put up a fight. They're not gonna quit. And I just want to say also, I just love Bryce Young's like leadership. I just really really do. The fact that even when they're down, like he's still at the first player to greet his players going into the locker room. Like it seems like there's a long term investment made into that guy, and I think it's gonna pay off for that team once they figure out the other parts of it. But I do like that kid a lot. But just from a football standpoint, I definitely think that the Rams are going to come in there, do what they need to do, and they're going to cover that 10.5.
Yeah, and they're a team to keep your eye on, as far as Tampa Bay and Baker Mayfield having this injury now. Like we might look up and the Panthers will be in the playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's it, what I'm saying? So quick, I ain't even going to spend a lot of time on this. Give me Seattle to walk Minnesota wherever they want to take them.
Seattle, Minnesota, in Seattle.
Yes,
Yeah,
in
let's go
Seattle.
Seattle. Oh, 11.5. I don't like that number.
I like the number because J.J. McCarthy may not play. It looks
No, I don't
like
like that number.
he's in concussion protocol, so you might get Max Brosmer making his first NFL start.
Oh, then if Max Brosmer's starting, then yeah, give me the 11.5.
Then you got my squad, the Commodores,
Doors.
coming off the bye week, if I remember correctly, 6.5 underdogs to the Broncos. So I do like the fact that Cliff Kingsbury has had a week to prepare for this Denver defense, and I think that gets you about a quarter of competitiveness. And then I think Denver just says, you know what? We've had enough fun for one Sunday. It's over now. And I think Denver covers that number pretty easily.
Jaden's still down, right?
Yes, Marcus Mariota. Scary Terry is, still going through the motions. I don't think he's going to play. But the one thing I will say is Denver, they've won 8 in a row. 6 out of their last 7 has been by 4 points or less. But I think
Yeah.
they kill Washington this week.
Yeah, they should. I mean, I think this is one of those games where, like, if you're a better team, you just put your foot on their neck and kill them. So,
Yeah,
I think that they come in there and they do that. I think six is a good number. I think
yeah.
I'll take that with the number.
And then if you're into shows like First 48 and Homicide, you got Jacksonville going down to Tennessee to play the Titans. Now, the Titans put up a fight against Seattle. They actually put up 24 points the other day,
Hmm.
but that was an anomaly. Jacksonville is getting back to their defensive roots. But one thing I am concerned about, Rez, is that in that win against Arizona, Trevor Lawrence still threw 3 picks.
Yeah, which makes no sense against that Arizona team.
It makes no sense. You know what I mean? But Jacksonville has won 5 out of the last 6 against Tennessee. And you wouldn't even know that they were 7-4 because everybody's focused on Kansas City. And can
Yeah,
Kansas City make the playoffs? Oh, by the way, Jacksonville beat Kansas City.
yeah.
And then, like I mentioned, they got the Colts coming in next week. Tennessee is 26th in the league in total defense, 29th in scoring defense. Give me the Jags. I'll call it Jags by 10.
Jags are going to take the number 6.5. I'll take Jags definitely with the number. And then Tennessee after this week, y'all get to play the Niners in Levi.
All right. You ready for a game of good news, bad news?
Do it.
Bad news. Kirk Cousins has to play again this week. Good news. The Jets only have one turnover this season, forced one turnover this season, and it was not an interception. So maybe Kirk Cousins could keep the ball out of danger. But for some reason, as I think about this game, I still like the Jets.
What's crazy is that the Falcons are only getting 2.5 points in this game.
Yeah. So
All
I
things
think
considered, the Jets have one win, right?
two. They got two. Yeah, they won two in a row. They beat Cincinnati and then beat Dylan Gabriel that next week.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm taking the Falcons, but
I'm taking the Jets just because I don't know what the Falcons, like Jack asked the question earlier, what's the Ravens' identity? I don't know what the Falcons' identity is because they don't even use their weapons the right way. So,
they don't. They
yeah,
don't.
so the only reason that the Falcons have these close games is because of the Falcons. So,
Yeah,
all right,
yeah. If Kyle Pitts played in San Francisco, he'd be a rock star.
yeah. So give me the Dolphins over the Saints.
Yes, agreed.
Okay. Give me the Bucks over the Cardinals. I don't care if Baker plays or not.
Yep, agreed.
All right. Now it's time, Residente.
All right, let's do it.
Shador Sanders.
It's time.
Sha-
Legendary.
Shador Sanders got the one and only San Francisco 49ers, led by the one and only Brock Purdy, coming
Yep,
in to Paul Brown Stadium.
yep.
Talk to me. Talk to me.
So Shador Sanders is his scouting report says he is extremely accurate. He's an accurate quarterback. He will take a few more chances. He'll give the defensive line more chances because of the fact that like he doesn't know how to like just work the pocket. He sort of like moves backwards, which gives the defensive line more of an opportunity to get there. San Francisco doesn't have a great pass rush. It's one of our biggest struggle areas. I want to say Nick Bosa is still leading our team in sacks, and he has been out since like week 3, which is insane. We also don't do a whole lot. We also don't get a whole lot of turnovers. I want to say we only have 3 intercept. We had 3 in the last game, but before the last game, we only had 1 or 2 interceptions the entire year. We're much better at fumbles. When I say we, I'm a Niners fan, so those who don't know. So I said it to say this: Shador is not going to look terrible against us. Um, he's going to have completions. We're going to allow him to get completions. What he won't have is, like I told y'all when we played, what was it, the Colts? Was it, who was it we were playing? No, we played the Falcons. And I said, Bijan Robinson will not have long rushes. He's going to, like, Shador's not going to have, like, this 50, 60, 70-yard plays. That's not going to happen against us. But he will probably have a high completion percentage as long as he's taking what the defense is giving him. We will definitely sit behind your receivers and let them catch all the balls that they want to catch. So he might even have 300 yards passing. But I do think the Niners are going to win. Why? Because Brock Purdy is in the house. And Brock Purdy saw what it was. Just, again, historically, Brock Purdy has not played well against Cleveland. But also, every time we played Cleveland, it's been the worst weather possible. Like, it's
And it
been
still
really
might be
bad.
this weekend,
And
too.
it's going to be really bad weather this time. But I think I trust our defense enough to do what it needs to do to keep Shador and that offense in check. And I trust Brock to make the plays that we need him to make to be able to win the game. The number's 4.5. I like us by 8 to 10, but I can see why it's 4.5.
So knowing me how you know me,
Mm-hmm,
you know what my first thought was when I saw this game on the schedule.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm,
said,
mm-hmm,
I said that damn Jake Moody.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
That's what I
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
remember from the last time y'all went to Cleveland.
That was it. Brock Purdy brought us down the field. Brock Purdy had a terrible game against Cleveland last time, but even with that, still last drive of the game was driving us down the field. An opportunity to win the game, got us down to like 29, I want to say, and Jake Moody missed a gimme. Like it was.
It's amazing to me how much Tom Brady, Brock Purdy has in him to be treated like JJ McCarthy.
It's true. It's true. It's true. But I also have to remember, like, so I also, the thing I was reminding myself about in this, and that's really a really great comparison because that's sort of why I normally sit, is that the first few years of Tom Brady, people didn't believe in Tom Brady like that. Like, they were like, oh, it's everything else around Tom Brady. It's not him. Tom Brady didn't get his actual respect until that 2007 year where Randy Moss was there. Like before that, it was, well, is he really that guy? And I think Brock suffers that to a higher degree because he didn't come in and win the Super Bowl like Tom Brady was able to do out the gate. But he was putting his team in position to win. But Brock does great things. It's just when it goes bad, people try to think of every reason why it should be somebody else and not him.
Right. So, yeah, I think the 49ers win this game. I think Shador plays fairly well. I don't know if he hits 200 yards just because of the weather, but
Hmm.
I can see something like a 16 for 23 type stat line. And
Hmm.
it's going to be dependent on if the Browns can run the ball because we saw Dylan Sampson introduce himself last week against the Raiders.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think San Francisco is good enough. And I think San Francisco knows what's in front of them because they got the Rams and Seattle in front of them, so they can't
No,
give.
wait to play the Rams twice.
No. I'm just meaning as far as record wise.
Oh, and record wise. Oh, okay,
Yeah. So both of them are in front of the 49ers right now. So the
yeah.
49ers can't afford to lose these type of games. And if
No.
it's one thing, as much as I do think Shador is a decent quarterback, Robert Saleh, you might want to get a few more games under your belt before you try to go up against him. So
Yeah, dude is serious. Dude, shout out to Robert Saleh, and can I just say a couple things since we're on the Niners? All right, so one, shout out to Robert Saleh and that defense. Regardless, y'all, those who don't watch actual Niners football games, y'all have no idea the labyrinth that has been this season in terms of the players that we've lost, the talent we've lost on both the offensive side and the defensive side. We've got most of our offensive players back except for Brandon Ayuk, and he's not going to come back. I have no words for that. It's been stupid from day one. But on defense, we've lost Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, and Michael Williams, like everybody that was supposed to be killers. We've lost all of them, and our defense still is rocking and rolling. Like they look like you can't lose that many historical. Like we lost all pros, first team all pros, and that team still looks like it looks. So just shout out to Robert Saleh for having the team rolling. Secondly, for those who are trying to call for a quarterback controversy, listen, y'all, you're not going to get it here. Brock Purdy's the guy. The San Francisco 49ers made a $52 million per year investment in that man. And that means that when we are playing and he's healthy, he's going to be the quarterback. If that's something you don't understand, then that means you just don't understand football. That's a you problem, not a Niners problem. I don't get why that doesn't make sense to you. Thirdly, if you look at the numbers that Mac Jones had comparatively to Brock Purdy, over the course of his career, it's down. Brock Purdy is ahead of Mac Jones in every statistical category, every single one. It's not close. So again, when people say things like, "Oh, the Niners should be starting Mac Jones," it just tells me you don't actually watch football, and that's okay.
there you go. As a wise man would say, bang bang.
Bang
So
bang.
give me Chargers over the Raiders.
Yeah.
Like nasty game, nasty, nasty, nasty. And then Monday Night Football, you would think that we get to that part of the year where we start flexing. It sounds
Mhm.
like Jackson Dart is going to be back.
All right.
They're playing the Patriots, so weird things happen when Giants Patriots play, but the Patriots are still going to win this game.
In Foxborough, 7.5 number. Yeah, give me the Pats.
Yeah, I think the Giants can stay inside the number though, but we'll see. We'll see. Like the Giants, they fired their defensive coordinator last week or Sunday. This season they've given up 5 double-digit leads.
Yeah.
So the Giants are right there somehow, which it makes me question. It makes me go back and question like how bad of a coach was Brian Daboll. They were competitive, and when you look across the offense, you don't see these stars or this talent. They do have the defensive talent on the line, and Thibodeau and those guys, but the secondary is nothing to write home about. So
No.
maybe the Giants are actually a decent team that might be a few pieces away. We'll see.
Yeah. No, I think that the Giants just are again another team that's way too injured. They lost their starting running back, and then they lost Skibbity, and then Malik Neighbors is out, and they still have a lot of pieces around. I think they're a developing team. I think they have something to look forward to next year, depending on who they put at coach. But this ain't gonna be it.
Yeah. All right. So of course it's that time of the week for upset alert.
All
So this is
right,
where I'm going to put upset alerts on some of these college football teams.
what you got, my guy?
I got a couple. So here we go. I got the Vanderbilt, as Residente would say, Washington, but these are the real Commodores.
The Doors.
I got Vanderbilt on the money line. I want it straight up. I want them winning at Tennessee. Give me Pitt +7 against Miami. You bringing those Florida boys up to that weather. Pat Narduzzi already let everybody know. Forget the Notre Dame game. We're just focused on winning the ACC. They went into Bobby Dodd last week, smacked Georgia Tech around. I don't think Pitt is good enough to win it, but I think they stay within inside that 7 number. Give me, as I gargle a little bit and get this taste out of my mouth, give me the Clemson Tigers. I want them on the money line. They're a 2.5-point underdog going into Columbia. Now, I know Williams-Brice is not the place that you show up and play around in, but
Right.
I think Clemson has hit a stride, and I think South Carolina is just ready to get the season over with. And I know there's been a couple of people, I don't agree with them, but there's been people calling for Shane Beamer's job, so we'll see what happens on Saturday.
Yeah, just right there because South Carolina. Got to make sure I comment on that
Yes,
one.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
one, I'm a Clemson fan. Two, I'm a South Carolinian. Um, I I don't know how Clemson beats USC. I don't know how to beat South Carolina. I would like for them to beat South Carolina, um, but unfortunately, I just think Carolina's a better team this year than Clemson is. Um, and I think Clemson got a lot of soul searching to do this offseason about sort of they want their what they want their brand to be. This is the first year that Dabo has struggled to this extent. Um, I think at one point Clemson was 1-3. I think now they've played themselves back into bowl contention now, but
Yeah.
like but it's not going to be a Clemson type bowl. But I think that Dabo is going to do what Dabo does. He's going to coach his guys up. He's going to get them out there ready to play. Anytime it's South Carolina, it's the Civil War, in the state, Clemson versus South Carolina. You want to get people riled up in South Carolina. You talk Clemson, South Carolina football, and so it's going to be a good game. I just don't even know how Clemson wins it. I hope Clemson wins it. I'll be tuning in, hoping for a Clemson win, but I think South Carolina's going to take it.
Yeah, I think it stays under. I think we're going to see a bunch of turnovers. So I'm looking at something like 20-17.
A lot of trick plays.
Yeah, I just think that Clemson, ever since the whole Dabo thing, where he went off about the refs, got reprimanded by the ACC.
Hmm.
I think the players answered the bell and said, "Coach, we got you."
Yeah,
And that's where I think
yeah,
Clemson is right now.
yeah. He's fighting for his life the entire year.
Yeah,
I'm a big believer in Dabo. Like I think I've told you, but I haven't never said it live. Dabo. So my little cousin played for Clemson University. He was a backup safety. His senior year was the year that Tommy Bowden got fired, and Dabo Sweeney ended up taking his job. And I remember my cousin graduated from college that year. Again, the backup safety, and Dabo Sweeney makes a point of it to come all the way to North Charleston, South Carolina, to go to his graduation party and to congratulate him on a great college career. That says so much to me about that man. And if he did that for him, I can only imagine what he's doing for these other young men. I also look at the fact that during COVID, there were a lot of players that sort of held on to scholarships that were past their time. So you got guys on 7th and 8th year scholarships because of COVID. Dabo Sweeney made a promise to those guys that he would allow them to play as long as they wanted to play, and he did not cut those guys, which cost him a lot of recruiting and a lot of scholarship opportunities and the transfer portal. So a lot of stuff that people don't know behind the scenes that Dabo has done that I have a tremendous amount of respect for, which is why I always fight for him as a coach. I really believe in that guy. Sorry for your side.
all right. No, it's all good. It's all good. Give me Washington covering 6.5 against Oregon. Now, this is the kicker. So I was a coward earlier this year because when we made our preseason picks, I went on the record and I said Georgia Tech is going to beat Clemson. And then the week of the game, I was like, ooh, Clemson is it. And I picked Clemson. I'm not falling
You
for it
did.
this time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to be a man about it. I'm taking Washington over Oregon. The only concern that I have, is their head coach Jed Fish looking at Florida. That's the only concern that I have.
Mm.
So this could be
Okay.
this could be one of those distracted
So
things. The alma mater is
so
open.
what makes you want to what makes you want to go watching of Oregon? Like what are the points?
So one, Oregon's had some really key injuries. DeCorian Moore, one of the best wide receivers in the country. He's a freshman. He's missed the last 4 or 5 games now, and their offense is just not the same without him. Kenny Sadiq, their all-world tight end that I like a lot. He's back, but isn't quite fully back into the swing of things just yet. So Oregon, there's this stat floating around where they have the number 1 pass defense in the country. But then when I look at their schedule, I see a lot of Iowa, Minnesota, Montana State, Oregon State. These aren't teams that are necessarily known for throwing it around the yard. So,
Mhm.
so I wonder how good that pass
That
defense.
Oregon defense is. Okay.
Right.
'Cause I remember you making that argument before. Okay.
Right. And Denzel Boston, one of my favorite wide receivers in the whole college football, him and Damon Williams, who I refer to as Weapon X, he's Washington's quarterback. I just think that they got one in them. This is the big rivalry. I think that, being in Seattle is always a tough place to go. Like, we see the Seahawks all the time. Like, Seattle's just a tough place for teams to make that trip to. Luckily for Oregon,
Yeah.
it's not that far.
Yeah.
But Washington's a whole different animal at home. And
Okay.
then I want Wake Forest on the money line against Duke. I want Maryland on the money line straight up against Michigan State. And then I think Michigan State dismisses their coach after the game. All right.
Mm.
So,
And it's not. Is it still D'Antoni?
no. That was long, 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 long time.
Oh, I don't know who's the coach of
Long
the.
time ago. Their head coach is Jonathan Smith. This is his second year. He came from Oregon State.
Okay.
And they're 3-8 right now, I believe. So yeah, it's not going so well.
Okay.
But of course, down here in my neck of the woods, we got a big battle coming up. Texas and Texas A&M. They played last year for the first time in, I think it was 12 years. Here we are. The game is at Austin. Texas A&M, undefeated, number 3 in the nation. They have to win this game to get into the SEC title game. They have, even though they're undefeated, they have to win to get into the SEC title game. Now, this is my problem. Rez.
Mm-hmm.
When I think of Texas and Texas A&M, I think of Lucy pulling up the football from Charlie Brown.
Mm-hmm.
A&M gets so close, and you think like, oh, this got to be the year. And then they'll lose to a Texas team they have no business losing to.
Right.
That's that.
My question is it better for Texas A&M to lose to Texas and then being able to skip the SEC championship game?
I think it
Because
is.
they'd make the playoff.
I think it is because, if they were to lose, then yeah, you don't play the extra game. Nobody's going to fault you for losing to Texas. You know what I mean? I think if I remember correctly, they're number 16 or 17 right now in the CFP rankings. So
Mhm.
it's a ranked opponent. It's the SEC. You get the excuse anyway.
Yep.
Now, if you win, I think they're in either way. So if they lose, that opens up the door for Georgia to get into the SEC title game.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk about the Iron Bowl here in a minute. If Alabama and Texas A&M loses, we get Georgia Ole Miss in the SEC title game, but we'll come back to that.
Okay.
So look, how funny is it and how hilarious is it that last year was Texas's first year in the SEC, and they made the SEC title game, and A&M still hasn't made it yet.
Or Missouri.
Well, Missouri's made it twice. They just haven't won it.
They made the championship game?
Yeah, they made it their first 2 years.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah. They lost and sorry, Missouri. They lost to Auburn and Alabama back to back. But the Horns. The reason that I'm picking A&M, because I really want to pick Texas, just going off of the historical vibe of this game, and but Texas over the last few weeks, they've given up at least 31 points in their last 4 games, and I know people will point to, well, they lost to Georgia. Like, okay, they gave up 38 to Mississippi State.
Yeah.
So it's not like we played an elite team that, just played well.
Yeah.
They're giving up points. They went to overtime with Kentucky. They lost to Florida. We talked about this. So
Mm-hmm.
so A&M, they got their own Heisman candidate, Marcel Reed. They got the best player, I believe, in the whole game, Cassius Howe, and he's going to be all up in Arch Manning's face because that offensive line cannot block. So and Texas doesn't have the receivers over the top to make you pay. So Arch has been playing better the last couple of weeks, but I think we're still waiting for that playmaker to emerge.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm going with A&M to win this game.
yeah. I definitely think A&M wins. I haven't seen enough from Texas or Arch specifically to believe that they have the ability to beat a number 3 team in the country. Um, but though I still just coming back to it, just thinking about strategically teams, just the way the sort of the football playoff committee has shown a willingness to give somebody credit for missing their
Conference
conference
championship
championship
game.
game. So I mean, if I'm Texas A&M, I can't lose one way or the other.
Well, I was telling Mr. Logical the other night, like and this is just me. I think you can pencil in at least 7 teams right now.
What are the 7?
So you got, let me write it down so I don't forget. So you got Ohio State, like I think win or lose, they're in.
Mm-hmm.
I think the same thing about Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
I think the same thing about A&M. I think that, so that's 3 right there. So you got to pencil in the Big 12 champ. You got to put in the ACC champ. Then you get your let's see, that's 5 right there. So then after the ACC champ, you're going to get your G5 champ because the top 5 conference champions make the playoff.
Okay.
So off of what I just said right there, that's 6 teams.
Okay.
Now, this is the thing. Notre Dame plays Stanford this weekend. They're 32.5-point favorites. So I think if Notre Dame wins that game, they're in. And we'll get back to that in a little bit. Then we got, let's see here. I had this written down the other day. So there's Notre Dame. Oregon, if Oregon does win at Washington, you're talking about an 11-1 Oregon. You know what I mean? So I think you can pencil them in for the most part. So right there, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then on Friday, if Ole Miss beats Mississippi State, that's another 11-1 SEC team. They're in. They're in. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky, and I'm just going to say this. Don't respond because but I mean we're gonna have this conversation later. So now, if Oklahoma beats LSU this weekend, are you leaving out a 10-2 Oklahoma that beat Alabama? So I'll let you think on that. We'll come back to that. So then, of course, you got the game. It's simply referred to as the game. Ohio State. 4 years in a row, they've gone down to the Michigan Wolverines. They're going up to Ann Arbor. It's going to be snowy. Michigan's going to be able to pound the rock. Whoo, this is a tough one. I think Ohio State can get out of there. I think they got too much weaponry. And I think that when people are looking at this game, they're looking at it through the lens of we've seen Michigan punk Ohio State around the last 4 years.
But that's a completely different team.
Yeah, and I refuse to believe that Ryan Day is going to make the same mistake because what happens is we saw this against Michigan last year. We saw this the previous year when they played Notre Dame. He gets into this mindset of you're not tougher than us.
Yeah.
So even though they have Jeremiah Smith out here on one side, Carnell Tate on the other side, they're going to try to run it up the gut and try to prove to you that you can't. And that's what got them in trouble against Michigan. Because I don't know if you remember this, but going into that game last year, Ohio State was a 21.5-point favorite.
Yeah.
And they lost that game 13-10 because he wouldn't open up the offense.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing that Ohio State has going against them, Julian Sayin, their quarterback, 27 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's a Heisman candidate, but he's a first-year starter. And when you go back and look at Ohio State's schedule, they haven't been punched in the mouth yet.
It's true.
Because going back to the Texas game, They won that game 14-7, but that game was never in doubt. There was never a
Right.
moment I thought Texas was going to win that game.
Right.
And Ohio State just said, you know what, Julian? Don't turn the ball over. The defense will handle the rest. This
Yeah.
may be the first time since then that you're going to have an opponent that can go toe to toe with you in the trenches,
Yeah.
that can slow you down just a little bit. So I think I saw the number at 10.5. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to pick Ohio State to win this game. I'm going to pick Ohio State 24-17. And what's so significant about that, Rez? Ohio State hasn't given up more than 16 points in one game this season.
Oh wow.
So
See,
there you go.
that's a good number. That's a good number. I think Ohio State wins. I just think I think it's sort of like, well, I mean, no, it is. So, it's Duke, North Carolina. Like, we can win every game all season long. The question is, did we beat Carolina? If you go back to Coach K's final year, we won every game that season. I want to say we lost like one other, but we lost to Carolina the last home game of the season in the ACC tournament and in the NCAA tournament
In the Final Four.
in the Final Four.
Yeah, it was the first
So
time they
like,
had ever met in the Final Four,
so
surprisingly.
yeah, and so like the fact that you remember that from the retirement season of one of the greatest coaches in college basketball history just lets you know the importance of the rivalry. And I think Michigan, Ohio State is at that level or higher, especially people who are from that area. I don't think if you're Ryan Day, you can afford to lose a fifth game to Michigan, even though you're not going to lose your job, but they will side eye you big time.
Right. And this is the reverse of John Cooper. He was the Ohio State coach in the early 90s.
Hmm.
They would go 11-1 every year. And he had a 2-10-1 career record against Michigan. And
Hmm.
and that's essentially what ended up costing him his job. So there you go. Then you got the Iron Bowl. Alabama going into Jordan Hare. It pisses me off that it's called Jordan Hare instead of Jordan Hare, but whatever.
Right.
They're going into Jordan Hare. And the last time Alabama went into Jordan Hare, it took a 4th and 31 from Jalen Milroe to Isaiah Bond in the back of the end zone. You
Right.
know, probably the only good throw Jalen Milroe has ever made in his life. It took to get out of Jordan Hare that day. Now, this is where we are with Auburn. They fired Hugh Freeze a couple of weeks ago. And as we look at Auburn throughout this season, their defense has been there since day one. They went toe to toe with Oklahoma. They went toe to toe with A&M. They just couldn't pull it out. They lost a game to Kentucky 10-3. So now they got Deuce Knight in there. The ballyhooed freshman who's supposed to be the future of Auburn football. This is the problem, Alabama. You can't run the ball. And guess what? Auburn only gives up 3.8 yards per carry.
Mm.
So DJ Durkin, he's the interim coach. He's coaching for that job because,
Okay.
like I mentioned, that defense is the one absolute that Auburn has had this year. So,
Okay.
what better way to cap off a disappointing season than to knock Alabama out of the SEC championship game? Because
It's true.
Alabama's got to win to get in. 5.5-point spread. So, Kalen DeBoer, head coach of Alabama, if you're not happy in Tuscaloosa, because I've heard your name attached to Penn State, maybe.
Mm.
If you're not happy in Tuscaloosa, lose this game and you won't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, nah. I definitely can understand you feeling that way. I don't see Bama losing to Auburn.
Yeah. So I think there is a chance. I do think that it's low scoring. I saw the number at 5.5. I do think it's low scoring. I do think that Auburn will give themselves opportunities, but I just don't think they'll be able to make the plays
Right.
cap it off. So this might be one of those games where both teams make it to the red zone 5 times. Bama gets 3 touchdowns, Auburn gets 1. And
Yeah.
then the rest of field goals, and then Bama just kind of suffocates the clock after that.
Yeah.
So
No.
yeah, I'm going with Bama as well. Um, but yeah, so I wanted to ask you, Rez, How much does head to head actually matter?
So let's talk about this in two different realms, right? So let's talk about what the committee's showing us they care about, which is I believe the conversation that Logical was having a few weeks ago, and what I'm talking about, which is what we actually should care about. And what we actually should care about is the fact that if you have two teams with the same record, if they played each other, it should not like I don't care of any other reasoning. They played each other. I don't care if they played each other week one. If they have the same record, this team has played this team on a field. We saw what happened. It pisses me off when we act as though, oh, well, it's further down the year, so that thing that happened at the beginning of the year doesn't count. Then if that's the case, don't play a game until y'all decide they count.
Well,
So yeah, go ahead.
I was arguing with somebody on TikTok the other day, and they told me like if Miami and Notre Dame played today, who would you take to win? I said I would take Notre Dame, and then I followed it up with, and guess what? I chose Notre Dame the first time too. So so like it doesn't matter what I think. Like I don't live in this world where I think this team would be favored over that team, so
Right,
therefore they deserve the spot. Like
right.
if you were so because people keep saying, well, that was Notre Dame's freshman quarterback. It was his first start on the road. You know what? Well, then schedule Miami week 6 then.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. Hey, y'all, we need to reschedule because we realize that we have a freshman plan. No, all of these games matter. Like, you don't get to decide which games matter and which games don't. If
all
they
right,
played head to head on the same field, that should matter towards something.
all right. So
Now,
let
I
me
know,
ask you this.
yeah, go
Let me
ahead.
ask you this quick question. So in relation to that, obviously Notre Dame doesn't play in a conference.
No,
Miami's in the ACC.
right.
You know what I'm saying? There is a possibility that Miami could finish fifth in the ACC.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So the ACC champion will get in, but teams 2 through 4 aren't getting in. So,
Right.
so does that matter to you where you look at Miami and say, even though y'all beat Notre Dame head to head, Miami finished fifth in this conference. So therefore, Notre Dame, you just can't get in if Miami can't get in.
I would be fine with that.
Okay.
I'll be fine with that. I just I don't like the logic because what is it? Do they have similar records?
Yeah, they're both 9-2 right now.
Yeah. If they're both 9-2, then no, get them out of here. If Miami is not going to make it in, I don't want to hear your logic about, oh, well, Notre Dame. I don't want to hear it. Like, I don't care about it at all. And like, I don't understand. Like, if we don't care about head to heads, like, we just want to play hypothetical football, then let's just make start the season by making a list of the teams that we think are the best teams, and then just making that one the one that's the best team the champion. We don't need to play any games on the field.
So okay. So now let's flip this a little bit because I brought up Oklahoma and Alabama.
Yeah.
So right now, both of those teams 9-2. You know, we have Oklahoma playing LSU this weekend, and we just talked about Alabama and the Iron Bowl. You know,
Hmm.
Alabama wins the Iron Bowl. They go to the SEC championship game. So let's say they lose the SEC championship game. That gives them their third loss.
Hmm.
Do you, or does it matter that it would be the third loss? Do you think Alabama should be eliminated with that third loss?
It all depends on what the president says and what everybody else is doing around them.
So this
Um,
this is the problem, and this is what me and Logical were talking about the other night. I don't know how
mhm,
y'all did it in the Army, but in the Air Force when we had our boards,
mhm,
the people that chaired the board would change year to year.
mhm.
So for one year it might be like, hey, I care about education and what you do off duty. The next year it's all about your actual job.
Yeah,
So
PT scores, how you perform in front of the
right,
board. Yeah.
right.
Hmm.
So the college football committee changes out members every year as well.
Hmm.
So what mattered last year might not apply this year, but last year was the first year of the 12-team playoff, and
Right.
the losers of the conference championship games that you know had 2 losses or whatever it might be still made the playoff.
Hmm.
But with Alabama, this would be a little bit different because now you're adding that third loss.
Third loss.
And I had
I
that
be
argument. I had that argument. Sorry, I had that argument with somebody today because
no,
my point was, if you play the game, win it. Like don't. Hey, you did this for SMU last year. No, well, you know what, Alabama, don't lose to Florida State. How about
don't
that?
lose. Right, just that. It's really that simple to me. Like, don't lose. And I also think like just from a system standpoint, I think that what I would really like to see them do is get rid of the committee altogether. I would like to see them go back to the BCS style of ranking and then letting the people play it on the field. Like whatever y'all say the number is, do the BCS ranking and put those teams on the field. The problem with the BCS ranking was that they would do the ranking and then they'd say, okay, 1 and 2, and those are people that are playing. If we had the BCS ranking with a playoff, it would have been perfect.
Yeah, and now we're talking about potentially going to a 16 team playoff.
Yeah,
You know,
which is stupid.
allegedly the Big Ten wants 24 like FCS. You know, and then I look at FCS and I go, they have a 2014 playoff, and North Dakota State has won 9 out of the last 12 titles. And
Yeah,
so don't waste my time. You know,
yeah,
I love
and I
football, but
mean,
don't waste my time.
and again, I mean, if we just want to just put people into a tournament, hey, let's just start the season with all was 175 college teams. How many?
136.
136. Put them all in a round robin tournament to start the season, and let's just map it out and just give everybody a chance. Like I hate this.
So what do you say to people that say things like, hey, Texas is 8-3 right now. You know, Vanderbilt's 9-2. Vanderbilt could be a 10-win SEC team. You know, they might not get in just because there's only
Mm-hmm.
12 spots, but they could go 10-2.
Mm-hmm.
Texas, if they beat A&M, would finish 9-3. They
Mm-hmm.
beat Vanderbilt head to head. And there's people
Mm-hmm.
out there that are saying, but no, what happened to head to head? Because the only reason that Vanderbilt is in front of Texas is because Texas scheduled Ohio State to start the season.
Go back to the BCS. It factors in strength of schedule. That's what I say.
Because I mean, I do believe that a 9-3 team could be better than a 10-2 team. I do
Yeah.
believe that, and I mean, we saw it. Texas beat them. You know what I
No, they
mean?
can.
But
They can.
but but you know what I mean? Like if okay, let me ask this. Let me reverse this.
All
So
right.
if Texas does beat A&M,
Mm-hmm.
they finished 9-3. You know, they lost to Ohio State. One of their other losses was to Georgia, who is number
Mm-hmm.
four, right now. So number one and number
Mm-hmm.
four. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
you got that ugly loss to Florida in there.
Right.
But you as resident say, I'm giving you the power. Do you give Texas playoff consideration with all that being said?
I would give them consideration. Yeah.
But not guarantee them a spot per se.
I would want to know what the BCS ranking said. I'm dead serious. Like I don't. So one thing about me, and I try to be pretty consistent about this. Like I don't like when we just allow our biases to step in and overrule logic. And a lot of these conversations are who do you like more? What do you think? We don't got to do this.
Right.
There's literally a calculation that factors in. Oh, they played this team when they were this the strength of schedule argument is there. The head to head argument is there. All of it is factored into the BCS formula. All they had to do was let them play each other. So I would definitely give Texas an additional look, and it's probably a part of a bias that I have. Do you know what doesn't have bias? Computers.
So what if these BCS rankings put Notre Dame in front of Miami?
Then I'd be fine with it.
Okay.
Because it's logical. It's not because, oh, we think they're going to sell more tickets or more people are going to watch. Like, that's stupid logic to include into a sports game.
Do you think that we're at a point where the G5 needs to just have their own playoff?
You mean, like, when you say G5, you mean
So like your Boise's and your non-power teams, like the non, because you got your ACC,
they're
Big
not going to get a fair shot. They're not going
SEC.
to get a fair shot. They're not going to get a fair shot in the, yeah.
So should they have something? Do you think they should have something, their own playoff, their own national champion?
I think they could. I don't see a reason why it would be a bad thing. I think it will be something that will be beneficial to them. But I also know that the thing about those types of teams is they want to be seen at the same level as these other D1 teams. So
Do you think
I,
people
I
will
can
watch
see
it?
a positive negative.
You think people
People
will
watch
watch
college football, bro. Like people as much as watch other games that they have. Like people watch college football.
it? Okay. All right. And then so as we factor this last thing before we get out of here, and this is just me freestyling real quick.
Cool.
So Lane Kiffin, so they play the Egg Bowl on Friday. They could win and be 11-1. I mentioned it already. If Bama and A&M loses, they could play in the SEC title game. The Ole Miss AD says that after the Egg Bowl, we're going to get an update on Lane Kiffin's status.
Okay.
So, so
He's looking at the LSU job, right? That's what's going on.
and potentially Florida.
Okay.
So what could happen theoretically is Ole Miss could win the Egg Bowl on Friday. Saturday, Ole Miss announces that he's going to LSU. If you're the committee, do you knock down whatever seed you might have gave Ole Miss, or do you consider not adding them to the playoff?
See, that's to me the stupid stuff there. The team earned the right to play. If they earn the right to play, then they earn the right to play. Nothing that happens with the coach should impact whether or not they earn the right to play on the field.
So do you feel that way about like say their quarterback gets hurt? You still feel that same way?
Yeah, if they earn the right
Okay.
to play, they earn the right to play. Like
Okay.
I don't. Yeah, I don't do the hypothetical. Well, what if like that? Nah. Did they earn the right to play or nah? And if they earn the right to play, then put them kids on the field.
So like I just can't imagine. And I mean, I don't know. Like from what I've read, he was a big Steve Spurrier guy. So Florida makes sense, but LSU was coming with the money. But I can't really imagine that a coach of an 11-1 team that's on the brink of making the playoffs is just going to walk out.
Yeah, unless you just think that you have extreme limitations. Like Ole Miss is going to give him money.
Yeah,
Like, they're gonna pay him, and he won't have to win a championship in Ole Miss to stay in Ole Miss.
right. That's why I'm like, is this all a show? Is this Lane's ego? Does he just like the attention,
It
or
might be a play to get some more money.
it could be that too? But I figured that they would have did that already because I
Yeah,
mean,
I don't know.
because they've been talking about this. Like Florida fired their coach in October. You know what I
He's trying to
mean?
make his girlfriend. I think he's trying to make his girlfriend jealous. I think it's just him trying to make her jealous so she'll do a few more things for him that he wants her to do.
Yeah,
But
the reason that I bring that up in particular is because yesterday, North Texas, one of these G5 teams, their head coach agreed to become the new head coach at Oklahoma State.
Mhm.
But he did work it out with the university that he's going to coach the rest of their games, how many, wherever that goes, because they still have a chance to make the playoff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Well, he was actually a wide receiver on that team.
Is he 40? Oh, he was on the I'm a man,
Yeah,
I'm 40 team?
he was a wide receiver on that team.
All
And
right.
and
So he
also
gets it.
just to put you on a little bit of game, what I'm saying? Like he's taking over Oklahoma State next year. He was, you ready? He was
Hmm.
Patrick Mahomes' offensive coordinator at Texas Tech.
Okay.
He was Cam Ward's head coach when he was down here at the University of the Incarnate Word.
Okay.
And Cam Ward's offensive coordinator at Washington State. He was John Mateer's offensive coordinator at Washington State. Right now, speaking, his quarterback as a freshman leads the nation in passing yards, and he may or may not have recruited Baker Mayfield as well.
Okay. Sounds
So,
like a guy.
so look out for Oklahoma State is the message there.
All right.
But I was going to ask you the last question here. So being that he did accept this job, we got one regular season game left, and then we're going to see if they make their conference title game.
All right.
Being that he took the job now, would you as a university still let him coach the playoff game if they make it?
Yes.
Okay, because I know Ole Miss said that ain't happening with Lane Kiffin. If he leaves, he ain't coaching. But
I definitely would. I definitely would.
okay, yeah, and I mean, obviously, this is the problem because of the transfer portal. He's probably going to take that quarterback with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And they got a pretty damn good running back, young running back that they're going to probably take with them as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the sad part about it because North Texas is on top of the world right now at 10-1 or 9-1, and now it's all over. You know, saying just like that. So, but on that note, y'all, you know what I'm saying? I'll be back on Tuesday, of course, with Mr. Logical. El Residente will be
Shout out to
back.
my guy.
You know what I'm saying? We love y'all so much. Like, review, subscribe, share, rate, do all the free things. Do all the good
Do
things.
all the good
Put
things.
death in hand. Download on the DSPs and look out for our interview with the one and only Jay Paterno coming up on December 3rd. This is Sports Reports is Ordered. He is El Residente, and you can also catch him on the Say Less Say More podcast.
Yeah.
With yours truly as well. Sports Reports is Ordered. Out.
Sports reports, no gimmicks, no clowns. 2-5, Mr. Logical, we run this town. Real talk only, no chasing, no doubt. From the east to the west, it's the order we shout. Mic check, lights flash, game time, stay ready. 2 vets in the zone, keep the pressure real heavy. Big